Okay. There's still a sandstorm. Can I run through it?
I suppose rules are rules, even if they are absurd.
I don't think they're absurd.
Oh?
Those rules are important to them. The sandstorm...
You don't say.
I do. And I think it's important we respect that.
Well, well. The boy is beginning to sound like a man.
Boy, I'm not a kid, you know.
Hey, less talking, more walking.
You pretty much are. You're what? 17 tops? Yeah, there we go. Look at all these wolves trying. Interested in that, but there's a sandstorm blocking it. Boy shorts on. They're falling. All right. Lizard time. Round 2. I think we only need 1 or 2 more. Yaha! All right. Melon. Oh yeah, we melon seed. So say, wait, didn't I buy melon? And seed. We need to buy some herbs. For that one, where's that? Seafront, okay. And then we need to go get a rat tail. Let's go do that. Mushroom. Oh wait, we're not. We went straight out the. This is the town, isn't it? Yeah. Thinking we were going right back into North Plains. Well, while we're here. Melon. And rice. Now, is this... What did I plant here? Something that's already done. Oh. Okay. And then we need more water. Because, like, I think you can water once per new stage. I think is what they said. Nothing else looked like it grew. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Yona's the quest, so we might as well while we're sitting here. All right, we just randomly creating gold in our house.
Yona,
Oh, hey,
how are you feeling?
better now that I'm taking the medicine you brought.
Good.
By the way, are you gonna stay here today?
Okay.
You bet.
Really? You'll stay with me? Really?
Yeah, Yona, I'll stay.
Yay!
Meanwhile, Kaine outside. What the fuck? Where is he?
Now get back to bed.
Okay.
She's just sitting outside waiting. I hear a voice. I squint and see a boy standing before me. His hair is silver, his skin is pale, and he stares up at me with hard, glassy eyes. Soon his lips begin to move, but no sound comes out. What is he saying? I can't hear him. I can't hear him. I try to leave, but something about the boy holds my gaze. I watch his face, expressionless, as his lips slowly flutter. What is he trying to say? Wait, it's a phrase I can almost make out. It starts with an S? Then there's an E? I can almost see it now. The letters begin to fall together, one after another, faster and faster. Sealed verse. It's a sealed verse. The thing I'm looking for. The key to saving my sister. I stare at the boy with renewed ferocity, trying desperately to make out his next word. Dream. Dream what? What the hell does that mean? The lips move again, faster now. I can't follow him. Damn it, I can't make it out. I want to scream. I want to tear down walls around me. But instead, I force myself to be calm. I can do this. I can do it for Yona. Slowly, ever slowly, I parse out the letters that make up his final words. Forest of Myth. Huh, that's how we get our next clue? Interesting.
Just a dream. Even in my dreams, I'm hunting sealed verses.
Morning.
Morning, Yona.
What's wrong? Are you feeling sick too?
No, I had a strange dream.
What was it about?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
'Cause I had a dream too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Me and this boy were playing a game together.
What kind of game?
It was called Guess the Words. I think he made it up because I never heard of it before.
How did it work?
The boy would move his mouth, but no words would come out. Then I had to guess what he was trying to say. It was hard. I wanted to play hide and seek, but we had to play his dumb game instead.
So what did he say?
I don't know. All I could figure out was dream and Forest of Myth.
What the fuck?
But don't worry, I'm gonna study hard so that next time I can figure out everything. We should play a game together sometime too.
Sure, Yona.
Don't forget the melon.
Okay.
Something troubling you, lad?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Come on, I need to go ask Popola something.
Interesting. I don't remember. I think it might be a soundtrack title. Forest Kingdom. That's what I immediately can see. In terms of things that have forest in the title. Forest of Lie. Oh, that's Fortress. Never mind. Hello.
What's up, Popola?
Oh, hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
Hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing in hopes of bringing to your attention a certain dream issue of... I'm writing in hopes of bringing to your attention a certain dream issue of concern regarding recent events in Dream the Village. I was hoping I might be able to dream... It's like fucking Twitter right now. Talking about that stupid Minecrafter.
That
Get
is
this out of
certainly
here.
one bizarre
It's invading the
piece
video
of
games
writing.
now.
Who's it from?
The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north.
The Forest of Myth?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them.
Hello, Cross. I was like, yeah, I don't think this ever heard. We're in 34 something other.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
You will? But...
Don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway.
Oh, well, alright. Thank you.
Not worth mentioning? Oh, absolutely not. Just shitty person with, like, the most horrible fan base you've ever seen. Like the, you know, the crazy K-pop stans puts them to shame. I welcome them in comparison. Let's see here. That is seafront. Which that's way down there. Not gonna bother for a bit. We need rat tails, which I think I'm gonna go grab on our way. God, I turn around, there's a giant ball of, looks like lightning. Same location. I mean, I feel like there's a good chance. But who knows? Like 20,000 years in the future or whatever. Rat. Alright, we have enough to make her lovely drink. While we're sitting here, do I happen to have enough to upgrade any weapon?
He doesn't talk about Mom as much these days.
Jacob,
Yeah?
can you read me a story?
In a bit, okay? How? Need some work done on your weapon?
Oh,
Come back.
does it seem like growing across many upgrading materials? Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Ah, hello. I was wondering where it... Okay, I'm actually interested in that one. You mean I can tell Kaine what to do? Oh, this orders thing. It doesn't... what? I need your help. How? Does she have heal magic? Vara. Just some guard break, okay. Oh yeah, we have a wall up. I don't want that. Maybe it's do whatever, come close to me, guard yourself. Maybe. Pig on pig violence.
Get out of my way! I have to save Yona!
Calm down. You cannot prevail if you are blinded with rage.
Oh. Lugs. Oh, 6% MP. Okay. That's okay, secondary. So let's see. Let's do magic power up and lose. Can swap characters, can we? If we can, I don't know how. Oh. There's so much around here that's not you. Go away. It's running. Here we go. Okay, I think they're all dead. I couldn't see him behind the book. Well then. The hyper-aggression. Oh. I tried. I live in little tree stumps.
It sure is quiet here.
Such silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way. I'm certain of it.
You know, a little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
Such cheek.
Box. Hello.
Beware. Beware the words.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Vice's voice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man. Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The mayor stared at Cruz and Vice.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream had spread across the Forest of Myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined the Death Dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Vice stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are you saying that we have been absorbed
I guess I'll hide if
into
it's
your
gonna-
dream?
It's gonna keep taking over the screen.
Well, yes, I think you have.
In other words, we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Cruzburn's suspicions, Vice exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, and quickly changed the subject to who Cruzburns had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
Cruzburns and Vice racked their brains, but could find no easy solution. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Vice does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Vice chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Vice looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Cruzburns like a contagion. The boar knocked us out. Yeah, we're just still passed out. This is just all because we ran into a wall with the boar. Wait, said Cruz Burns suddenly. Did someone say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Vice aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words, was it? What was it? It was about dreaming or something that dreams, or what the hell was it? A sheep? Cried Vice suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their head. After a few more minutes of thought, Cruz Burns' face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream. That's what he said, I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Cruz Burns. That sounds right, he said. As a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground, my notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head, his worn pencil stub tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream, he said. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect the people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Vice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a dream in your dreams, or a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream. I've been looking for a way out, but I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Cruz Burns nodded in agreement. Huh? Wait a second. I didn't nod. Look, if we can be of any help, said Cruz Burns, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Vice. The grimoire looked from Cruz Burns to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Vice's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. God, he said, you're right, I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice, and dreams are the fuel. You can imagine an exit. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two, he called at the departing forms of Cruz Burns and Vice. We're all counting on you. As Cruz Burns slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. Saw this man once before, he thought. But where? Cruz Burns' mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. Kaine's probably swearing us out, trying to wake us up. Oh yeah, Kaine didn't join us in here. More than once, he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging Cruz Burns to pick up the pace, and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Vice muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Cruzburn snapped. Okay, Vice, cram it for a sec, would you? You don't have to walk. Cruzburn leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. I don't like that. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Cruzburn slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Vice, what's going on? Cruzburn could see Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insects screamed. Forrest howled. And then, just as Cruzburn's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Tree! Wooma! Hey, Splatoon's here. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Cruzburn began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. 1 with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is... Oh god, riddles? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place? And I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? The answer is a secret, a seesaw. How should I know? A secret. That makes sense, given the context. Inwardly furious that Vice left the task to him, Cruzburn sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. Hey, look! It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insects stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Cruzburn like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Cruzburn moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind, as long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Cruzburn after a bit. Vice spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Cruzburn picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. Absurdly easy, barked Vice. Now answer it. Cruzburn grits his teeth and tried not to reach out to strangle his companion. He's right, after all. This one is pretty easy. I entered through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? A bird! Sunlight. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Vice softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I've misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried Cruzburn, awaking Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Cruzburn walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Cruzburn. But before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. I've heard this, but not in this context. It's like what starts their life on 4 legs then 2, and ends their life on 3. I've never heard it said like this. Cruz Burns tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. Is this how it's supposed to be? Huh, I never heard it, I guess, in the correct way. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Vice, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said Cruz Burns. Well, at least it's an easy one. A man. The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. If you're not sure what the riddle is, you've never heard it. 4 legs being crawling as a baby, 2 legs being you're standing, you know, you learn to walk, and 3 legs being you have a cane as an elderly person. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor, cried Cruz Burns. The small man slowly shook his head. I'm not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what does that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Death Dream. Now, you must go to the person at the forest entrance. With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Cruz Burns watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Cruz Burns' advice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over them. I saw you, that wasn't you. And the mayor, right at the start, said he's like, huh, this feels like deja vu. Good gravy, he cried. You made it. You actually made it back. His left hand grasped Cruz Burns and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Cruz Burns withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the Death Dream seal, he said. At least I think we did. The mayor's face beamed as Cruz Burns filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them laid down on the forest's ground and fell asleep. Cruz Burns cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place of futility itself. Cruz Burns and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten, continued Vice, it is words that control the Death Dream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time, began the mayor. The first time I felt tired, since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour, or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Cruz Burns shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Oh, wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did, I'm back. He blinked once, and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The Death Dream was spreading through our village, and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Cruz Burns and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I'm sure, said Vice. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on his unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Death Dream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained. When the prayer was finished, it's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Or not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Bruce Burns' Vice could not contain their surprise. It seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Cruiseburn mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is gonna sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Bruce Burns tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figured it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. Probably doesn't mean anything. Bruce Burns gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
And we're back.
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Dark Execution. Summon magical spikes from the ground. Oh! From the tutorial. Sick.
For a sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice.
Oh, god damn it. What was the... is it Luges? Yeah. Alright. I didn't want to break away and lose my place. Let me see. I saw you that wasn't you. I saw a cruise that wasn't this cruise, the tutorial on the sea ruins. Yeah. And they mentioned earlier, what, yesterday, we asked Yona when her first, like, when it started, and they only said a month ago, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. What village? I mean, this village, like, there's little tree stump houses and shit. And I knew there was another person down past the mayor. Hey, there's another person over there.
This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
More audiobook?
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there. That dream world sort of creeps me out.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
In we go! I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh, for I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison is tucked beneath the stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes. An eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior. I call out the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my addled mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me! Impossibly, I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands, covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Weiss. This is Cruz Burns. Long have we been searching for you. Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together. The one known as Cruz Burns extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm, said Grimoire Weiss. Look at your feet. I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this place. Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. I can't press anything. Oh. I didn't realize it was, okay, it wanted me to hit a control stick. Okay. It was a multiple choice with one choice, whatever. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come across a shapeless mass of gray matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbled corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Insanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter I cannot be certain. And my mind grants me merciful blackness as I find myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors. East. West. Oh wait, we just came from east. North. North. At the end of the path, the water rises to my waist, exhausting me both physically and spiritually. I pray that this is the way out. Eventually, I can stand the sight of the waters no longer, and so turn my eyes upward. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people have lived long ago. One subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It is constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It is a stunning costume, even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands. Yet as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by a most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there would be no rescue. The poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of the fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait. I've been admiring a row of corpses, blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Enough shielding my eyes, I paddle forward through the water. I squinted down the dim corridors. West. At the end of the path, a row of heavy wooden casks lie on their sides in a dark chamber. Doubtless, they are filled with wine. My thirst roars to life. I cannot remember the last time my parched throat had relief. I scramble to the first cask and pull frantically at the cord. The theft of a few cups means nothing, I tell myself. The cask will be ruined by the flood regardless. Finally, the cork surrenders to my attack and thick red liquid bursts forth from the hole. This is no wine. It is blood, still warm from the body. Whether animal or something else, I cannot say. The foul liquid soon mixes with the rising floodwaters, creating a warmth that laps against my thighs. By all the gods, are the rest of these casks filled with blood as well? I lack the courage to confirm my suspicion. Disgust quickly becomes fear as I turn to flee, but my weakened legs betray me, sending me toppling over into the red ocean below. The smell of death is everywhere. It threatens to consume me. I must escape this hell. Crawling on all fours like an animal, holding back screams lest any foulness enter my mouth, I lurch forward through the red waters and out of the room to freedom. The water has risen to my chin, and now laps greedily at my mouth and nose. "You dumb bat," shouts Cruz Burns. He surely desires to say more, but the rest of his insult is cut short by the rising water. Vermar Weiss, wet and tattered, floats on the water's surface. It is already too late for him. This wasn't supposed to be how... This wasn't how it was supposed to end. I'm kind of interested to see other people's reactions to this section. I feel like this is a very polarizing section of the game.
This person
It's what...
can't say.
Perhaps you should...
Yeah.
All right. At the end of the corridor, 20 canopied beds, the top carpet of velvet. Okay, yeah. So we go east, and then north. Okay, and from here, went east, north. We went north and west, so let's go east. I find myself at a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains, and this is the movement I saw. This one splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands, then slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. If for not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was punishment, though in truth, I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. I squint down the dim corridors. We went east, so north. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, and so I give myself to the effort. In tandem with Cruz Burns and Grimoire Vice, I slammed my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat. The clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly notice that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly try to cover my exposed skin. Your dress, Sex Vice. Then, you are a woman, madam? I am. I prefer the to a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing how I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Cruz Burns is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. What? With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, unaccountable black shadows slowly flicker to light, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
Thank you so much for saving me.
Wasn't this person wrapped up in cloths whenever we talked to them? This is a completely different model?
I never want to have a dream like that again.
Alright, let's go save again. Just to be safe. I guess it's to kind of hide what kind of person they are. That's fair.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Vice.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and Cruz Burns had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
He said. Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Cruz Burns nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Cruz Burns lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. Okay, interesting. So I guess this person wasn't fully in. Part of it was still voiced, and now nothing. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us, or what? The complaining had already begun. Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much. A joke, he said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. Cruz Burns glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, Cruz Burns' feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. "We're definitely getting closer," said Weiss in an effort to cheer his companion. "Yes, this much is certain." Encouraged, Cruz Burns lifted his gaze. Suddenly, he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing in the distance. "Water!" he cried. "It's water!" "Water?" asked Weiss. "Preposterous, I don't see any water." "Over there, just ahead of us! Look, the sun is reflecting off of it!" Without waiting for a response, Cruz Burns sprang to life and bounded toward the sight. What in the... There was no water. There was nothing but sand in every direction. Cruz Burns closed his eyes and sighed as Weiss floated up behind him and chuckled softly. "I believe this is known as a mirage," he said. "Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things." Cruz Burns shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly, he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. "Wait, there it is! I just missed it! Look, it's right there!" Cruz Burns sprinted off again, leaving Weiss with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Cruz Burns came to a halt. "I could have sworn it was right around here." Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an exasperated Weiss finally floated up to Cruz Burns and struck him in the face with his cover. "Enough, you blithering idiot. Stop this at once. There is no water here." Cruz Burns' face clouded. "There isn't?" "There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much." Weiss paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. "However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the City of Art." Cruz Burns looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. "They're huge!" cried Cruz Burns, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. "I've never seen anything so big." Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky. But that is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. "What kind of city is this?" said Cruz Burns. Where are the people? Where are the houses?" "Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use." The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Cruz Burns and Weiss eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Cruz Burns uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable, except for a single word chiseled in their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As Cruz Burns moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. "Only one form is real. The others are false. The real form will oh, not this shit. Oh, God. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies." With that, the bird departed. As if on cue, the 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. "Hey, look at that," said Cruz Burns. "They're alive." The triplets bowed low before Cruz Burns. "Please," said Alpha, "you have to get me out of this nightmare. I'm real." "Stop lying," said Beta. He turned to Cruz Burns and threw his hands in the air. "Alpha's a fake, I'm the real one." "What a load of crap," said Gamma. "Beta is fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here." Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. When you consider all the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, said Vice. Cruz Burns furrowed his brow and considered his answer. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will only speak lies. Shit. I was tempted to screenshot that. I was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to reread them as I pick. No. Alpha said he was real, right? Beta said, no, I'm real. The real one's Alpha. The eyes of the statue shone with an eerie light. The light grew stronger and stronger until Cruz Burns and Vice were forced to turn away. If one said, I'm real, and the other two said, no, I'm real.
It would seem we failed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'd best act more carefully.
I thought we had it.
This is the worst job ever.
And another victim.
Okay, well that one didn't result in a game
book
over.
like you would be.
Even I.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of these ones. Okay, let's see. Bird. Oh shit, I skipped it. Wait. I've never used this in my life. I have no idea how the PS5, like, stuff works. We're gonna have to, like, stop. Okay, okay. Oh, wait. Alright. So Alpha said, please, you have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Beta said, stop lying. Alpha is a fake. You know I'm the real one. Gamma said, Beta is fake. Everyone knows I'm the only real one around here. Okay, so Beta didn't say all of them were fake. Gamma said both were fake. Well, the Nintendo recording streams are the best of all, maybe? Okay. Well, it's not Alpha. Like, this, I feel like this is gonna come down to process elimination. Be like, okay, sure, whatever. If Alpha is not the one, the real one, that means... Well... Okay, if one of them is telling the truth, that means... I think it's Gamma? I don't... If it's not Gamma, there's only one choice left. Right? Because Gamma's saying both of them aren't. Beta's only saying Alpha is real. Or Alpha's fake. Every light, stronger and stronger.
It would seem we...
Alright.
Yeah.
We'd best... And
I figured...
even I...
Though Cruz Burns' voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Vice nodding at him. If Alpha were telling the truth, began Vice in the dry tone of a lecturer, Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth. Even though Gamma is a liar, therefore that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars in this situation. However, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with two statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. Yeah. These, jeez, it's also really, really goddamn hot in my room. I need to turn on AC. I don't know what is going on. Ugh. So if you hear it in the background, I apologize, but I cannot. I'm about to start, like, full sweating. It's getting gross. As Vice finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Vice in a cheerful voice. The time to awaken has arrived. I was like, the last time we had one of these was in Color Splash, and I was able to come out with the right answer. So I don't know. Sometimes it clicks, most of the time it doesn't. Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Cruz Burns pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Asked Vice. Have you been to this city before? The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape, then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this, but at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered Cruz Burns, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Cruz Burns during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too.
Interesting.
Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Okay. I think we're done with the story time.
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct.
The audiobook section.
I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
You know what? I'm gonna save.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
Faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
So, is it actually good? That's the real question. Hey, an upgrade, finally! A sword carried by the world's most loyal servant. Like that loyalty, the sword's blade is straight and true. Man, there's nothing beyond this. It was just this. It was definitely unique. That's why I was like, I'm kind of interested to like go look at some other people's reactions to this, because I could see this. Again, I feel like it's very polarizing. Like you're into it, or you just skipped.
So how was the village?
Interesting.
Oh, it was truly magnificent. There are no words. Really.
Huh. Neat.
Let's get back to Popola. She'll probably want to know what's going on in there.
I like books, or I like the part. I don't, and I liked it. Like, I do not like reading. Like, video games are mostly the exception, but I gotta be into it. But I have never, except when I was a kid, when, like, you learn to read, everything is exciting. I think that's the last time I, like, read for fun. I've never really been... Hello. Never really enjoyed it. Con. Night defense +2, and on weapons it adds poison. They painted really good. Like, the imagery used in that section was really, really good. I think that helped a lot. You're very used to text-based games, so that felt like a completely normal thing. Did it? Text-based games need to have very well-written descriptions and dialogues, otherwise wall of text. Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of games like that. And I think the subject matter matters a lot, too. Like, I'm super into this game. If this was kind of like a... Like, I'm super into the side quests. I am down for doing absolutely everything that this game has to offer. As of right now, anyways. I think that was a big thing, like, a deterrent of reading going through public school. It was always like, you have to read this. You're forced. I was like, oh. Well, this is boring as shit.
Apparently, you can sometimes find
Oh, you want a different... Which job should I give you first? Come
Okay,
back
it
whenever
looks
you...
like Devila is the, hey, these are all side quests you can pick up. But if you haven't found them, I can mark them for you.
Excuse me, but have you seen my son?
I don't think so. Why? Is something wrong?
When I got home, I found a note from him that said he was leaving and not to look for him. What if he's left the village? Please, you have to help me. I'll pay you whatever you want. My son shouldn't be too hard to spot. He wears a very odd hat. You can see it from a mile away.
Okay.
Okay. If I see him, I'll let him know his father is worried about him.
If I don't like the genre of stuff, how am I gonna be interested? Yeah. I know, the last book that I was excited, it was my senior paper in high school. I was like, you know what, maybe I'll actually try to read. And you had to pick from, I forget the list. It was it needed some requirement, otherwise you needed special permission. But even then I couldn't, I liked it, but I couldn't finish it. And I think half of it was, oh, I was told there's a movie of this? Okay. It was A Clockwork Orange. Really dark and fucked up. And it got me to read, like, half the book. And I was like, oh, there's a movie. Okay. Say no more. I still find it interesting that this guy respawns. On Weird High School. Everyone bitch about Ver.1.22474487139. That was never a required reading. I think that was required depending on which version. Like, I don't know if it was a nationwide thing, like English or just some of the core classes. They had standard, CP, and AP versions. And that determined which books you would read. I think part of my school, I was never in a class that read Fahrenheit 451. But I think some people did. Or maybe it was... I think some teachers had different curriculum too. Like, I don't think every teacher was required the same books. Maybe it was that. I don't know. So I definitely remember, like, talking to friends who had, like, other teachers with the same, like, level of English class, and it was... we were just reading completely different things.
Here's your ingredients. Although I can't imagine what kind of drink uses this stuff.
Oh, it tastes just as extreme as it looks. Popola's the only person I know who can handle it. Anyway, tell Popola I'll have this stuff sent over to the village as soon as it's ready, okay?
Got it.
Alright.
I found your ingredients.
Oh, you are a lifesaver. Let me just get your payment. Oh, and a meal on the house.
$5 grand, nice!
Voila! One bowl of our local specialty, sardine pasta.
Oh, it looks delicious.
Huh.
Excuse me, but can I get your help again?
What's up?
People are finally tiring of sardine pasta, and I'm fresh out of ideas for new dishes. You seem pretty well traveled for a kid, so if you run into any interesting recipes during your journeys, could you let me know?
Well, I don't have much of an eye for cooking, but sure, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks so much.
Recipe ideas, huh? Maybe we can find a cookbook somewhere.
Cookbook, huh? I don't even remember, like, I know we had to read Romeo and Juliet, Beowulf, How to Kill a Mockingbird, or To Kill a Mockingbird, not How. Head to the library and see what you can find.
A drink with a lizard's tail inside certainly sounds impressive.
Yeah, Popola's really something when she starts drinking.
Surely you jest.
No joke. Once she got so plastered, she practically destroyed the shop. Knocked down a wall and everything.
Does alcohol affect Devla in the same manner?
Devla's more of a lightweight. If she has even a little, she starts acting all cute and meowing like a kitten.
Devla? For true?
For true.
Alcohol is a fearsome chemical indeed.
Huh. I don't know. I don't remember a whole lot because I just refuse to read them. So I didn't. You know, it was just, oh cool, you're gonna force me? Yeah, I just won't. A lot of it was very open defiance too, like, just, I don't take kindly, I mean, a lot of you have been here long enough. I don't take kindly to being told what to do. It's very obvious. So you have a class built around, read this. No. I will not.
Hey, are you the kid who ran away from home?
Huh? Oh man, how'd you...
Your father's worried sick about you. Why'd you leave anyway?
Because he wants me to, like, take up the family business. And I ain't doing it, man. I'm a rebel.
Yes, we can see that. Well, perhaps you should let your father know that you're alive and well, and also explain to him why you left.
Oh, man. Why do people always gotta hassle me? Yeah, alright, I'll do it. But first, you gotta do something for me, man. The guy who runs the tavern's been helping me since I got here, and I want to give him something nice. I was thinking I could, like, cook dinner or something, but I don't have any ingredients or whatever, so, yeah.
If it'll get you back home to your father sooner, then fine, I'll help. What do you need?
This guy, man, he don't eat nothing but fish all the time, every day. Fish, fish, fish. So I was thinking he might, like, want to try eating meat or whatever, you know, for a change. So could you give me, like, 5 pieces of mutton and 3 pieces of goat meat?
I can find the pans and spoons and stuff, so just bring the meat to his place whenever, man.
Alright. Fish is meat. I mean, but then you get into, like, you know, like some people... one of my ex-girlfriends, she was this way. She would say she's vegetarian, but she was actually pescatarian. But if you say that to people, then you get questions, and I'm not trying to have that conversation every time. It's like, oh, no, I'm pescatarian. You're like, what? Say you're vegetarian.
You seem to be in good spirits.
Oh, I am. My new flower shop is already far more successful than I ever dreamed.
Really? Well, great.
I was in trouble before, but I think I've got a good foundation here. In fact, I want to ask my girlfriend in the area to come live with me here. It's the least I can do after all I put
Or she lives in the area, so she racist as shit? Everyone in the area seems racist.
The only problem is I don't really have time to go all the way over there. So I was thinking of sending a letter instead.
Sounds like it's time sensitive. Want me to deliver it for you?
Oh, really? Are you sure?
Oh, he is sure. This lad loves nothing more than meddling in other people's affairs.
Excellent. Well, my girlfriend lives near the chief's house. Give her this Phrygia with the letter, okay? I really wanted to give her a lunar tear, but as I'm sure you know, the whole reason they call them legendary is that they're so hard to cultivate. But I did manage to cultivate a Phrygia. She's always liked Phrygias, so I guess things turned out for the best.
Cultivating lunar tears must require a remarkable amount of work.
Yeah, even so. It's nice that guy works so hard to be able to invite his girlfriend out to join him.
Alright. It's vegetarian, but you also eat fish.
But who can say if said girlfriend honestly wanted to wait?
What do you mean?
Surely the woman desired to live with him, did she not?
Well, probably, yeah. But he wasn't able to make it happen. That's why he left her in the village.
It would have been difficult, yes, but perhaps preferable to a life of solitude. Why did they not think about how much time and distance would separate them?
It doesn't matter anymore. They'll be able to see each other just fine soon enough.
Let us hope this is the case.
Alright. But I don't know, it's something about, like, fish don't have pain receptors or something. So it's like, they don't see it as inhumane. I don't know, there's a philosophy behind why fish is okay. God damn it. Never fails. Ah! You know what? Hey! The first one, you were fair. That was very fair. Second one, fuck you. Hold on, let me look at my quests. Egg. Fish. We're growing a melon. Report back to Popula. Okay. We need to go to the library anyway. Yona's gift. Yeah, melon. Airy. Mutton and goat meat. Oh, we have the goat meat. We just need mutton. Okay, cool. Much brain. Yeah. All right. Mutton maker. Oh. Where are the sheep? Oh, there's some. Bat, bat. No! The bodies despawned as I turned around. Are you kidding? So did that one. Like, literally as I was talking about, as I turned around. What kind of shit? It lasted, like, no time at all. So... I need to leave and come back? There's sheep up here? Fuck you, Shades. I need mutton. God, I love it. Is that everything? Or what was that? Runaway Sun? Oh, I need one more. Okay, the sheep in front of me. You weren't supposed to fight. Okay.
Looks like we've got everything the runaway kid asked for. Let's go make the delivery.
Because we're in dialogue, it's frozen. I do kind of want to know. He doesn't do nearly as much damage anymore. Are we able to parry him? It's like a level thing. No, he just immediately shield broke us. But I like that I can see our progress based on how much we get hit from the boar. I mean, I guess let's go to the area. It's right next to us, right? Try that again. There's bats here now? And carve them? All right. Does that mean, like, the people here are finally, like, out and... Are they gonna talk? Do we see anyone walking around? Are they still just like, no, you're an outsider, go away? don't see any bodies. There's an item over there, though. Maybe it's the eagle egg. I don't associate with anyone, so why did they have us deliver shit here? I don't know. This town's weird.
It's over. It's all over.
That poor girl.
Okay, so there's the chief.
Jaime's a good person. Once you get through all the weirdness.
Oh, are they accepting of her because she fought to save their fucking lives, finally?
This must be the place the florist was talking about.
You think she stepped out?
Well, perhaps she moved. It doesn't look like this house has been occupied for some time.
Well, no point hanging around. We'd better go back to town. Shame she wasn't there.
Huh.
Indeed.
Guess you were right, Vice. They should have stuck together.
I find it difficult to determine who is right at this point. In any case, we had best return to him.
Egg? Eagle egg! Let's go.
This must be the egg. We'd better get it back to the tavern lady.
I want can I make...
You've certainly taken on a rather trying job this time.
Come on, Vice. Quit moaning, would you?
I imagine this egg would fetch a princely sum if you sold it to the highest bidder.
You know we can't do that. The tavern lady's waiting for it.
Perhaps we should place our own financial situation ahead of the concerns of an elderly woman,
Did you forget about the whole quit moaning thing?
I am curious how much it sells for. Because she did also say, like, they sell for a high price, but please don't sell it. I really need it.
These people are as positive as always.
Oh yeah, building something like this? Couldn't imagine. Oh, okay. I keep trying to parry him. Clearly, it has not been successful. Oh, I don't have... I just gave away all my health potions. Oh, shit. But our damage... Again, this is another, like... You can visually see our progress, and I like that. Uh-oh. Okay. Well... Time to play like a weenie. Wait, what? Oh, because it's his head only? Oh, just barely. Okay. Rest Freesia. What?
The shade had a flower?
Oh, was it? Oh.
This is a freesia, the same flower we were delivering to the woman.
Uh-oh. Maybe his girlfriend was attacked by a shade.
I think she was the shade. Three types of raw materials. Neat. Huh. Alright. Maybe that one was just weaker because of the quest. Kind of want to refight the dude we know was a bulky boy. We also have a better weapon, finally, too. Alright, let's look at what we have. Yeah, bring that back. Rainbow trout, still not quite sure where they are, what bait. Popola, waiting on the melon. Library. Lover. Bring the meat. Alright. After that, I get back here, it's like, man, I would love to just rampage through the town on a boar. Boar speed is so good. Oh yeah, we also need to go here for a story, I guess.
Death dream certainly is a strange illness.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, it was something all right.
Even I, with my natural love for words, have no desire to visit that place ever again.
You guys did well. You've been making a lot of long trips lately. Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard?
I'm okay. I can't just sit around all day while Yona's sick, after all.
If you say so.
So, anything I can do for you?
Well, I suppose there is one thing I could use a hand with. Have you heard about our plans to repair the canal? The work probably won't happen for a while, but once it's done, we can use the canal for trade and travel and all kinds of useful things.
It's like, yeah, I've noticed the fast travel points everywhere.
Unfortunately, however, we're a bit behind schedule at the moment. If you're willing to help out, I'd really appreciate it.
No problem. What do you need?
Great. So, the man I originally asked to help on this project hasn't shown up for work in a few days. I'm starting to get a little worried, so maybe you can head over to Seafront and check up on him? I'll mark the location of his house on your map. He always carries a red bag over his shoulder, so he should be easy enough to find.
Got it.
Alright.
The person I asked to help with the canal...
Oh wait, but I have... If I go right back in?
The person I...
But... Kale juice. Wasn't that you?
Popola asked me to organize...
Out of curiosity. Yeah, very interesting. Okay.
books speak of age.
Looking for that cookbook. That's why I'm ramming my face against the wall. If you're unsure, aha!
Wait, is this a book of recipes?
Most seem to require rather exotic species of fish.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of some of these. Let's go tell the tavern keeper about it.
Alright. I guess we gotta be back when Popola isn't giving us something to do to turn in the alcohol.
A canal, is it? Fascinating. If we had a ferry, we could put these days of endlessly running about behind us.
Don't you just float everywhere anyway?
Do you think I am borne aloft by the winds, lad? It takes stamina to maintain this height.
Oh, really?
You could at least try to hide the utter dismay, you know.
God, this reminds me of Paimon. Because there was a similar interaction with Paimon and Genshin. Just like, don't you just float anywhere anyway? Why are you tired? It's like, I'll have you know floating is hard work. Today was awesome. Popola made me this huge cake that was really yummy, and everyone in the village was had been wishing me happy birthday. It's fun. I feel like a princess or something. I don't feel sick at all today. In fact, I almost forgot I had this disease. So maybe you can forget about it too and come back home now? Oh, there's a shiny over here. I don't think I've ever seen one right here. Probably still just like medicine. Oh, berries. Okay. Let me just double check in here.
I got your eagle egg.
Thank you.
Oh, it was
Give
this
me a
tavern
moment
keeper.
here.
I wasn't sure which tavern keeper wanted the eagle egg.
And here we go. Could you bring this to my grandmother for me? She'll probably be near the fountain in front of the library.
Sure thing. I'll get it to her as soon as I can.
Old Lady's Elixir Plus.
Oh.
Oh, I
you want a
forgot to
different
check
job?
to see how much it sold for. Oh, well.
Which job should I give you first? Come back whenever.
Actually, do we have one from her right now? I don't know if we have one. You know what? Let me ask Fragile Delivery.
Oh.
Those require
Which job should I give you?
more effort.
Special delivery from you to Facade. Sound good? By the way, how'd you even get in that place?
Oh, no.
I wrote down the client's location on your map, so head over there to get the details.
Wait. Oh, was that it? Was that a Yona? How did Ivani? Gotta give old lady her
Ma'am,
medicine.
I've got more medicine for you.
Oh, what a nice young man you are. I've been just sick as a dog lately. Why, just this morning I woke up and found a giant.
Oh, okay. I'd better get going. You take care of yourself, all right?
You've been such a great help lately. Here's a little something for you.
2 grand, nice. How much cash we got? 12. Okay, we need. I think it's like 16 point something. We need 16 grand at least for the Beast Bane.
don't forget the mallet.
Are they not marked? Was it one of the guards up top? I don't remember. Where is she marked? Yes.
Hey, you can get into Facade, right? I've got a thank you gift I need delivered, and I'm hoping you can help me out.
Okay.
No problem.
Great. Oh, and it's kind of fragile, so don't roll around or get knocked over along the way, all right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
get that to the weapon shop in Facade. And thanks again.
Do I have a pig out here? I don't think I do.
You want to try your hand at this job, Kaine?
Are you serious? Hell no.
Ha! Hussies are only good for breaking things anyway.
Maybe I'll start with you.
Lizard. No pigs in the desert.
Oh, crap.
What was that?
Does not sound good.
Why did what?
I think we broke something.
What the fuck?
There is little point in finishing the delivery now. Let's go back and apologize.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Well...
I didn't expect to have to worry about anything until the wolves. But here we are. Why it decided, whatever. They like didn't even move there. Yeah, that goat just out of nowhere. Okay. And we need to get by all the wolves. And honestly, probably gonna need to shoot them. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Not bad. Okay. Oh, it looks like there's more down there. Oh, God. Okay.
What was that?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Known as a scorpion.
What the fuck?
Phylum Arthropoda, subphylum Chelicerata, order Scorpionidae. They are closely related in form and structure to other arachnids.
I am so not following you right now.
It's
I
an
saw.
enemy. Kill it.
Now that I understand.
I saw the dots on the map. Can I carve it? I can. There's an enemy right at... There's a wolf right at the entrance. Okay. I was like, we're right here. Ooh. Alright, now just don't accidentally roll on our way to, is it what, the weapon? Weapons dealer? Which is right there. I don't even want to jump.
Hi there. I've got a parcel for you. We'd better report back to the client.
Oh, okay. There we go. I don't know if there's anything else here. There might be, but this place is a maze, so... Alright. Well, we did that. Now we're gonna run back. There's literally nothing else. No goat to help us. Or boar, rather. No goats either. There haven't been any goats. No helpful ones. That spectral wolf hasn't shown back up yet either. This bitch. Poison! Certain enemy attacks are capable of inflicting poison status. Poison will clear up on its own after enough time has passed, but it can also be cured right away with antidotal weed. Why did... Okay. I haven't read any of the fishing tips, but why did I... Fishing 2, huh? We have had antidotal weed for a while, yeah. Just nothing to use it. Yeah, scorpion drops are bait. That would be my guess as to why fishing popped up. Kinda, there we go. Part of me wants to see if I can parry one. Okay. Oh, I missed that one. What? Oh, it was the poison. Okay, I was like, what? Okay, they actually do a significant amount of... Like, the poison lingers enough that it's a pretty significant amount. Let's see. I mean, I blocked it, but... Oh well. Ooh. I can't tell if this is faster or not. Sometimes it feels like it is. Doing the Ocarina of Time speed movement strats. Just roll everywhere. But 5,000 rolls later, you do save time. Yeah, exactly. I hate shit like that. I was like, there have been times where like, oh, maybe I'll actually look into speedrunning this, and then I see their movement, and I was like, I'm good. Time Spinner was one of those. You gotta backdash, cancel, everywhere to get a competitive time. I was like, ah. Things I will not be doing. That. I just realized I didn't tell the guy. It's in our quest log. I did the fragile quest, we didn't turn it in. Oh my god. I didn't turn it in. Okay, I think this one is stronger than the one we just did for the quest. Jesus. Yeah. By far stronger. You know what I should do? I keep wanting to hit... I don't know what game why I keep wanting to hit that button and holding it. Something I played recently. But that's just the screenshot button. Put poison on my bullets. Oh, I can see the poison on him, so how fast is it? Oh, look at that! That's actually really good damage! And that's poison level 1. Alright. So he still hurts very much. It's a little absurd. I was like, yeah, that's a really fast tick. It might the poison tick might have done about the same or even more than just my slashes did to it. I will gladly take it. Hello? Oh, yeah, quest. Red bag. Hi.
Hey, are you the guy who's supposed to help repair the canal? Popola sent me to...
Oh god, it's over. My life is over.
Surely you must realize nothing good can come of being involved with this particular endeavor.
Easy, Vice. Hey, so, are you alright? What happened?
It's my wife. She left home a week ago and hasn't come back. I'm so worried I can't even focus on my work. Oh, my sweet dumpling, where are you?
Wow, that's terrible. Would you like us to help you look for her?
Really? You do that for me?
Sure. But do you have any idea where we should start?
Well, she always used to enjoy drinking at the tavern with her friends.
Alright, then I guess we'll start with them.
Thank you. This means the world to me. Oh, and by the way, my wife always carries a red bag, just like mine. If you mention that, it might ring some bells.
I've met some odd couples in my day, but none who felt the need to wander about flaunting matching luggage.
You need to get with the times. Coordinated outfits are all the rage.
Are they?
Plus, these bags are special. We bought them for our anniversary. But now my sweet dumpling is gone. And it's all my fault. Oh, God.
Okay, just stay calm. We'll go look for her, alright?
I'm willing to bet that man knows more about his wife absconding than he's letting on.
Right, is that what? No. Oh, it's in the center of town. I was like, did I miss the save? The mailbox? So I want the heal from it. No, it's over here. So the screen will stop blinking. There we go. Much better.
Hey there, I'm, looking for a woman carrying a red bag.
Are you now? Interesting. Did something happen to her?
She hasn't been home and her husband's worried. Do you know anything about where she might be?
Trouble in paradise, is it? Oh, those two never change. Anyway, the short answer is no. She hasn't been around here either. Though come to think of it, she always got on well with the woman over at the tackle shop. Maybe you should try her?
I'll do that. Thanks.
Hey, what's the rush? You've got a cute face. Why not sit here and join me for a round? Or 3?
Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not old enough to drink.
Voila! One bowl of our local specialty, sardine pasta.
Wait. Don't I have 2 quests that I need to turn into the Tavern Keeper right here? Deliver to the client. Oh, okay. We got delivered to the client. And then what about... Yeah, bring the meat. Oh, wait. Bon appetit. Seafront Tavern keeps inspiration for new meals. Yeah. We have to reload the area. That's the second time. Oh, wait. Now there's a circle there. Okay, I guess because Story was in here, it screwed up everything else.
Are you the guy who's taking care of that runaway?
Runaway? What are you talking about?
It would seem we've been bamboozled.
You've got to be kidding me. Seriously? Still, I guess we can tell his father he's alive at least. Hey, so I found a cookbook in the library with some recipes that might interest you.
Really? Let me take a look. Shark? Really? Wow, this is some high-class cuisine.
I guess we can fish up sharks.
Something like this before. Still, shark fin fried rice sounds amazing. Think you could help me track some down?
You got shark bait?
You can eat shark fins? Man. Anyway, sure. I didn't come this far just to quit now.
Wonderful. In that case, here's the shopping list. 5 sharks, 5 bags of rice, and 5 mushrooms. Oh, and thanks in advance.
It is fascinating how gourmet cuisine can survive even in the midst of a food shortage.
Okay, so let's see. That quest is right there. However, 5 whole sharks, yep. It's very jiggly meat.
So, did you get the letter?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I'm sorry, but she wasn't home. And on our way back, we were attacked by a shade that dropped this.
It's a Frisia. Do you think... No, she's alive. I know it. And I'm going to keep living my life for her.
I see.
I'll stay here and keep the business going. After all, you never know when she might come back.
Well, thanks for the money. Oh boy. I did see a quest through the wall in the corner of this beach. I thought it was the beach. Oh, it's the lighthouse, okay. I really hope it's not that lady again, though. Alright, it's not the lady.
Hey, you gotta help me out here. You just gotta. I'm having serious girl trouble. See, there's this girl that I'm pretty wild for, so I asked her out. But she won't even consider it unless I take her to a really nice restaurant.
I did not see these windmills until right now. They've just been chilling over there the whole time.
That seems rather demanding.
She really appreciates the finer things in life. First-class places for a first-class lady. She's so cool.
Everyone has their own tastes, I guess.
Wait, what? I
tell you, There isn't another girl out there as high class as mine.
I lost how that started, because windmills. Where are we? It's not even my quest log. What was I supposed to do? What am I doing?
Tell ya,
Was he talking about Lighthouse Lady? I mean, she's in here. I can see the dot.
The thought that anyone would actually bother to write you a letter staggers the imagination.
Such a rude book.
I wonder if the shiny's over here. Oh. Wondering if it respawned. Okay, well, that guy's quest, I didn't pay attention to the first part. So, I don't know what it's all about. Let's look around a restaurant. Restaurants. Huh.
Hey there, do you know a woman with a red bag by any chance?
A red bag? Oh, sure. Although now that I think about it, I haven't seen her in a while. Last time she came around, she mentioned something about leaving town, but I figured it was just idle talk.
Leaving town, huh? Alright, thanks for your time.
If she has truly left this charming hamlet, finding her may prove most difficult indeed.
I just hope she hasn't been attacked by shades or anything.
I mean, considering how all other missing persons quests have gone, you know. Oh no. Well, it's not on that map. I have a feeling, and I don't like it. When I asked for Yoko Taro's trauma, this is not the trauma I wanted. This is the wrong trauma. I was like, yeah, these might be the worst. I don't know. Between this and Bloodborne might be the worst in-game spiders I've ever seen. Like, how... Okay, what we're gonna do here. Can I move with my map up? No. I am going to fight looking only at the minimap and nothing else. It immediately close. Christ. I know they're like everywhere here. That's why I'm trying to just look in the minimap, but that was just full screen. Swear to God. Is it gonna say sell things? That's what it's gonna say. I swear to God, it's what it's gonna say. No, it said instead of selling them, look for someone who needs it. Instead, do quests. Thank you, game. Thank you. Oh, we have fishing tip 1 through 5. I was waiting. I meant to check earlier to see if we had them in order. Let's finally read them. Fishing tip. Different baits can catch different fish, cause different fish to bite, even if you're fishing the same spot. You can catch fish at some spots in the desert sand. What? Okay, now that one. Huh. Sandfish. Completing certain quests will raise your fishing skill, making it easier to catch larger fish. That's what fishing skill is doing. Okay. You can use X to reel in a fish. Even if its HP is not completely depleted, the more HP it has, the less likely you'll land the fish. Interesting. Some fish can be used as bait to catch bigger fish. Yes. Okay. God. Another body over here. Now it's gone because I looked away. That's also fine. I can't go in. Alright, so this was for nothing so far? Alright. I have to do this again.
Something about that shade seems rather odd.
Tiny, let it get up.
Hey, look at this.
It is identical to the red satchel carried by the man who sent us on this mad quest. Perhaps it belongs to his spouse.
Oh no. Do you think the Shades got her?
I fear it likely, lad. I sense no other activity in the immediate vicinity. We were too late.
Well, this is terrible. What are we supposed to say?
However difficult it may be, we've no choice but to tell the man the truth.
Alright. Just don't looking bright. Yeah? I'm worried about inside. Especially with how the mini-map system in this works. If I don't have a map, I can't see. So...
Hey, did you find my sweet dumpling?
We didn't, but we got this off a Shade.
I mean, this red bag, if you think about it, is a leather dumpling, so...
Oh no, this is hers.
So our fears were correct.
Oh God, how could this happen to her? And this is all my fault.
Why is it your fault?
If I may, my good man, why did your wife leave home in the first place?
It's because I
think we should give him some time to himself, Vice.
Honey, I'm home.
What's wrong?
Dumpling, you're not dead.
What in the world are you talking about? Oh, you found my bag. Thank you so much. I can't believe I went and dropped it like that.
Oh, this is such a relief.
Okay, seriously. What's going on?
5 minutes later.
I see. So, you found a shade with my bag and assumed I'd been attacked and killed?
I'm just glad you're safe, Dumpling, but I'm also so sorry. This is all my fault. Oh, if I didn't eat that apple you were saving. Oh, God, I'm such an idiot! Listen, I promise I'll never eat anything of yours again. You just promise never to run away from home again, okay?
Run away? Have you lost your mind? I just went to visit my parents.
Huh?
I told you about this. Going to see my family, gone for a week. Remember? Ugh, are you serious right now? Why don't you ever listen to me?
Lad, my brilliant intuition suggests we should beat a hasty retreat from this tour with all speed.
Should we get out of here? No. I want to see this. I'm ready. Oh, buckle up.
I can't believe you didn't listen to me, and you ate my apple. Ooh, you are the absolute worst.
What? Oh, like you're some perfect angel. You didn't even care enough about our anniversary to hang on to your bag.
Oh man, this. Oh man.
You, kid, I'm right about this, yeah? If anyone's wrong here, it's my wife, right?
Oh, I don't want to take sides. I'm just here to watch.
Wait, you're asking me?
Who's in the wrong here? You, buddy.
Well, you shouldn't have eaten your wife's apple. That's not very nice.
But I was hungry, and it was just sitting there. Look, I'm glad you went looking for my wife and all, but that was low, friend. Low.
What?
Uh-oh. Did I cross a line there?
Besides, it's pretty rich to come after me for an apple when you threw away my entire stamp collection.
Ha! You're damn right I did, and I'd do it again. You are nothing but a hoarding slob.
Alright, well maybe your apple deserved to be eaten. I don't know if I can side with you anymore.
You there! My husband's in the wrong here, isn't he?
Pardon, but madam, I...
Both of them? Okay, it's like 2 wrongs don't make a right. But I'm a spiteful bitch, so like sometimes it do, you know? I'm gonna blame her.
Well, to discard a man's precious hobby is a rather heinous
Yeah?
act.
Oh, yeah, of course you to take his side. Figures. You'd fit right in with his pile of collectible trash.
Collectible trash? Now see here.
An hour later?
Do you not even understand how frustrating this is, you colossal oaf? This is exactly what I hate about you.
Fine, hate me. I'll still sleep like a baby knowing I'm not an unreasonable hag like you.
Vice, what do I do?
You turn on your heel and walk away as fast as your legs can carry you, my good lad.
That's it. I have had enough. Instead of belittling me, why don't you get a proper job? Everyone in the neighborhood treats me like dirt, and it's all because of my unemployed slob of a husband.
Actually, I have a job now.
Wait, you what? You're kidding. Why didn't you tell me? That's great.
Well, I sort of wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, you big silly Billy. Well, this calls for a celebration. Come on, I'm going to bake you a nice apple pie.
Incredible.
I have no idea what just transpired, but it has utterly exhausted me.
Well, looks like they made up, so all's well that ends well?
Sure.
In the course of all that madness, I have forgotten why we even came here in the first place.
Oh, heck, the canal! We need to ask him about the canal!
Oh, that was great.
I can't thank you enough for all your help.
Sure, but listen, we need to talk to you about the canal.
All right! That's why you came here in the first place, huh?
Eating an apple is not as bad as throwing an entire stamp collection. That's one right there. Yeah, exactly. Money and just... Well, that's your hobby. That's the things you like. That's more than, like, just the monetary value, too. Like, oh, you don't do that.
Well, now that my love life is rolling in clover again, I'd be more than happy to get going on the canal work.
Is that what you would call it? All right.
That was exhausting.
Well.
Tell me about it. Anyway, let's go give Popola an update.
I'm kind of curious. I want to check here real quick.
You're ready.
Okay. I was wondering if, like, maybe the scorpion tail, like, changed what bait you would get. Can I throw a scorpion tail? Well, that's assuming the scorpion tail is actually bait. Wait, resident. What? Why do all men have to be so... I don't know where that came from. Onward I go. Crab. Oh, it's not. I just got it from killing scorpions for... I didn't mean to actually, well, catch whatever this is. Also, this guy has a quest bubble again. Kill scorpion, learn that you can go fishing in the quicksand river. Yeah, there's maybe a correlation in there, I don't know.
Hey, guess what? I went shopping with my girl a little while back.
Okay.
You mean the one who only goes to super expensive places?
That's her, all right. Anyway, there was this nice accessory that I thought would look great on her and didn't cost much, so I bought it for her. But she refused to take it. She said she doesn't wear cheap accessories.
Well, that's not too surprising.
Yeah, I should have known better than to try and impress her with such shabby flim-flam. Next time, I'll get something high class all the way. It'll cost twice my yearly salary. No, 3 times!
Are you certain this woman even cares for you?
Of course she does.
You humans certainly have complex and exhausting mating rituals.
Okay, I feel like this is... Maybe it was because we left to fight that thing, came back, and it progressed. I guess we will have, come back to him again at some point, see what next happens. What about rent? I guess he don't need it.
The couple with the red bags were a strange pair indeed. It boggles the mind to think their relationship can persist despite such intense squabbling.
Well, they looked pretty happy in the end, at least. Maybe the secret to living a happy life is sharing your feelings, even when they're sort of mean and weird.
If you adopt such a strategy, I may leave for groceries one day and never return.
Oh my god. Imagine being able to blow 3 years of your salary without care in the world. Would be nice, right? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this is more of a case like, just don't think about it.
Hey there. Your son come back yet?
Don't think about it and everything will be great.
No, I haven't seen him. Where could he be?
He's in Seafront. Or he was, until he ran away again.
Oh, crud. Let me guess. Did he tell you an elaborate story and then ask for help? That boy is... well, he's a bit of a dirty liar. I probably should have mentioned that.
So that whole story was a setup. He sent us on a wild goose chase and then gave us the slip.
Since I cannot imagine you letting this go, perhaps we should return to Seafront? There may still be a lead or two left to pursue.
Good idea. We can't let him get away with this. What's wrong?
How can a son bring so much despair to his family? He seems completely ignorant of the pain he has caused. It's deplorable.
I love it when you sound like a grumpy old man, Vice.
Perhaps I only sound that way because I have existed since time immemorial.
How old are you anyway?
You know, I'm not exactly sure.
They say memory loss is a sign of old age.
Well, it's still preferable to being a deplorable liar like that son.
Your delivery is complete.
Thanks. Here's what I owe you.
Ooh, that was a big chunk of change. How much cash we got right now? Sword! What time even is it by? Oh, all right. Well, let's talk to Popola. Set up our next destination. I'm gonna go buy the sword and then I guess call it a night. It's happened again, right? Yeah, it's just almost 1 in the morning. Oh, okay.
Goodness, it sounds like the canal repairman had quite the problem on his hands. I'm glad everything turned out all right. Thank you so much for your help.
Don't mention it. I'm looking forward to seeing how the canal turns out. If you need anything else from us, just say the word.
Thanks, guys.
Oh.
Hey, wait!
Huh?
I almost forgot. Yona is looking for you.
Oh?
She said she needed something from you. Time to go play Big Brother for a bit, huh?
I guess so. Thanks, Popola.
Oh. I feel like that's gonna be a whole scene. That could be good to start the week on. We gotta give her alcohol. Get the drunk singing with Devila. I'm gonna buy this sword though, because I'm more likely to forget that. We kept fishing. Yeah. Well, that was like we were just kind of. It was all downtime. That's the fishing. Just sitting there. One was more like been doing things constantly. Stuck.
Welcome. We've got
Beast Bane.
Thanks for your support.
Heavy. 40% extra magic power. Oh, yep. I was like, Beastbane, I'm pretty sure was in NieR Automata. I think some of these were also, some of the others were also in NieR Automata. But I know this one was. For sure. Okay, so this one's heavy. We went from very light to heavy. I don't... Do we... That's a tutorial that I actually want. Do we have one on weight? Like weapon weight? Oh, wait. Status. Bolt, magic defense, attack. There's just the hard numbers of how much we have. Tutorials. Now. You know, this one I did notice, actually. Like, holding it down versus these shots. It's saying manually make it stronger. Versus holding it. I did notice visually. Got all the new icons out of there. But no. Not quite sure what the weight actually does. Okay, there we go. So we only have 11% of all the words, 100% of all the weapons, a fourth of all the quests. All right. Apparently does affect swing speed, but it's negligible. Let's see here. If this is heavy, we'll swap back to a very light. Let's just see if we can notice it. Let's see. Very, yeah, negligible. I was like, maybe very, very slightly. All right, let's go to the mailbox. And I think the next weapon was, what, like 9K or something from Facade? That guy sold 2 different weapons. The Beastbane and something else. All right, a nice, just shy of 11 hours. Very good, very good. Not too much. I mean, some trauma, you know. The big shit hasn't hit, you know. As far as how chill this is, chill, yeah. Though I'm also not gunning down the main story. I think that would change a lot in terms of how fast we would reach it if I was. I'm just doing everything. But very much enjoying it. Little this, little that. Yeah. But okay. Oh god, it's Saturday, so I can't play tomorrow. I gotta wait till Monday. Alright. But definitely looking forward to Monday. Excited to play even more. I went to the title screen like that was gonna do anything. I'm on a PS5. I gotta actually do that. But yes, thank you all for joining me. I do very much appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves tonight as well. That whole story section was really, really cool. It's like one of those, it was small enough and interesting enough that it was enjoyable, but it's just like, oh man, it's like the prime reason I can't do like a visual novel on stream that doesn't have voice acting, because that little bit was so much. But it was nice. That was the weird part of the night, I guess, in terms of what we got in the story. But thank you all, yeah. Like I said, it didn't overstay its welcome. Exactly. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll get back to it on Monday to continue and see what we got. Especially now that we have even more intrigue. That is one thing. It was unique, but it added more to this whole, like, why is someone trying to talk to us and Iona through our dreams? What is this deja vu? We got those little glimmers of like, okay, trying to piece together why the intro was what it was, you know? But we'll get there. Yeah, have a good night, everyone. Very much appreciate. Yeah, okay. But enjoy your weekend. I'll see you all on Monday. Good night.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me! Father!